Welcome to our Wednesday night call. So we got a situation here where there's a guy who's a member of TSL Online. And he slept with a girl, and they met. I think it was an SNL scenario. But the thing is that happens is that he then tries to pursue it, and she tells him like, "Hey, look, I just get this feeling you want to hang out with me and you want to fuck other people, or you want to just have sex with me, and that's it." And so this was a discussion on the TSL board of how you got to assert yourself and say what's going on and all these different things. And it was written by me, at least, though other people chimed in too, but a little bit passively. And I want to just make this clear. Like, you got to communicate to people how they communicate back with you, how they deserve to be communicated, because that's how they're going to listen. All right. And I'm not saying that you need to be mean to people. I'm not saying that you need to shut off your emotional window to them and lack of empathy. But if you had sex with somebody and they're assuming things about you that may or may not be true, you need to tell them what is the reality of the situation. You need to tell them like emphatically. And if you expect a certain thing, you should go for it. And this is something that happens with all guys who are not experienced with women. They let the woman talk for them. And again, let's just make this clear. I'm not saying you're an asshole to everybody. I'm saying that if you're connecting with somebody, make sure that they take you seriously. Make sure that they see you for who you are and what you represent. If you go up to a girl and she assumes you're hitting on her, even though you might be, but you haven't really seen if she's qualified to date or if you're just trying to get to know her and she just is hot, then man, if she says it like, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," I'm going to tell her, I'm like, "Man, hey, look, cool. Yeah, how long have you guys been dating?" I mean, like, you assume that it's that easy for me to hit on you. Like, it's such an insult, right? That's not the case. Like, yeah, you're attractive, but God, I don't fucking know you. I respect myself more than that. I'm going to say something. Now, I may not say it like that, and I might be a little bit diplomatic. I was with a client talking to him about this last night, and I just said, like, man, just say like, "Oh, well, how'd you guys meet? How long have you guys been dating?" And I actually told him, I said, "Hey, look, there's a couple routes to this. Number one, if you think I'm hitting on you, which I may be at the first phase, but I don't know you, man. And I know what I like. And it's more than just a hot piece of ass." So I told him that whole concept. But I said, man, also, if you're some player and you want to be a player and you want to fuck a bunch of people and you don't give a shit if she has a boyfriend, a lot of times they're unhappy. And a lot of times they lie about that just to bring it up. So I'll always counter it. And usually my intentions aren't the latter two, but they have been in the past. And it's very, very common that happens. But usually it's just like, man, really? You think that? I mean, goddamn, wow. And I don't necessarily, again, voice that directly, but I want people to understand me for me, and I want to bring out the best of them, and I don't want to get a bullshit response. And man, especially in this situation, if a girl had sex with you, I can tell you what she's probably thinking, for various reasons, she has what's going on with her. And there's probably one of them, she might have an ex-boyfriend. She may have been hurt in the past. She doesn't want to be a slut. Obviously, she doesn't, she's not looking for casual sex. She's not looking for a relationship either. And all those different things, right? That's fucking great. Guess what happens if I listen to that? Because those are very confusing things. And I'm going to bank that she hasn't thought this through. Let's say she's not looking for a relationship. Well, I'm not looking for a relationship because of this and that, and I want this, and I want these things, and I want to do this with my life, and so, da-da-da-da. Guess what? If she had the opportunity to have a relationship that made her feel good as a woman, she would go for it. Because there's plenty of girls that tell me that I'm not ready for a relationship, I don't want one, and then I have sex with them, and I show up in all the right ways, and they are like, well, I didn't know I'd want... I mean, fuck, Maria, she didn't want a relationship with anybody. And the fucking, I don't know, an hour after my dick went in her, it started. So these things can happen if you know what you're doing. And that's a common story. So that all being said, it's like you're not hearing the whole truth. You're hearing a reaction of something that, fuck, man, is going on in their head. And this isn't just women. Obviously, it's men too. When you tell me what you want, is it really what you want? Have you really looked at it? Have you analyzed yourself? Have you gone for those things? In fact, even in this situation, this is what happens. And there's plenty of guys here involved in TSL that just get caught up in the chase. when I always say the chase is good. But the problem is how you're chasing is it's like a pussy. You think you're not good enough to talk to them so that you have to be something else in order to get it. And then when you get the mildest level of resistance, rather than continuing to chase and go for what you want and say, hey, let's cut the shit. Like, I like you. Are we going to make this happen or what? Instead of that, you go, okay, what's going to work? What's going to work to get her to like me? Because, I don't know. I want the validation. I want the whatever. In fact, there was a guy who was on the Austin Men's Development Board talking about a strip club, and it's obvious, like he ran into a bartender or he was in line at Starbucks or something and he was talking to her and she said, hey, I work at the strip club down the street. Come by and visit me. Of course. Most guys are like, she's chasing, she wants to play you. No, man, she's a bartender who's trying to do her job to promote her thing, who wants people to come in. Now, if you go into that bar, if you go into that club, and if you go there and are like, oh my God, yeah, you're beautiful. I'm buying what the strip club has presented you as a tool to buy from, you are then a creep, right? So if you go there and go like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, cool. No, I came in, yeah, and she's like, what are you having? You like, I'll have a Bud Light. So what's going on? You're just way too eager. But if you actually buy what she was really, really selling, which is promotion, and to have a good time at a bar where she has territory, and I know this can be kind of confusing, but if you hang out in whatever club or if you work at a restaurant even enough, you'll get this. But if he goes and he says, hey, what's up? Checking it out. Hey, yeah, where's, let me get a Bud Light or whatever it is that he's drinking. And he just hangs out. He's like, yeah, cool. No, man, I'm looking for a place to hang out or whatever. And it's cool. Got chicks. They're naked. They're talking to me and you're playing sports. This is the best day of my life. Every day whenever I want it. Anyway, if you act like that and you're just chilling, you don't play too much, guess what, man? You now have a friend at a strip club. And it could be somebody that you did have a romantic affair with, but I would take that route over any other route any day of the week. But going back to this, what are you chasing? Are you going for an expression of yourself where you can be yourself? Well, if the interaction goes further, you're not afraid to show who you are? Or are you changing who you are to get her to like you so that maybe when she does like you, then you can kind of swivel it into you being who you are? And man, it's just, guys are always trying to do that shit, and it's bullshit. It's totally fucking stupid. We need to get to the point of what's happening. So in this situation, if you run into her and basically it's like, you see her and she's acting kind of off or funny, it's fine to say like, hey, look, I like you. I want to hang out with you. If you don't like that, then we don't have to do it. But let's do it. All of this of what all of this is always about is intent and choice. Intent, choice. You decide. Hey, look, I want to do these things. I like you. Yeah, we fucked. Get over it. So if you want to do something which seems cool, then we can do it. Or if not, we don't have to talk. That I'm giving them a choice of two things that go in very two specific directions. And man, like you're going to find that a lot of people then stop their own bullshit. And why this is all here is because I want the real expression from them. I do not want the resistance talk. I don't want the LMR talk. I don't want the like, oh my God, I slept with you. What do you think of me talk? Because I don't think of any of that. So I'm going to say, just shut up. I'll say it nicer, just like how I gave the example, like, hey, just chill out. I like you. I think you like me. Maybe you don't, but it's your choice. I just want to hang out with you. If you don't want to do that, then don't. Man, like you will need to talk to people like that. And if you go up to somebody, let's say, because this always comes down to the opener thing. All right, I get it if you have social anxiety, you might need to start in a different place, but you need to build up to the point where you can be proud of who you are, right? And it's hard. It's hard for me. But man, like I do work at it. And nobody's perfect. Once you master this, it's not like you're not going to have to worry about it again. You worry about it every day of your life because that's how we live as human beings. And it's good. It's not a bad thing to work for your own benefit on a daily basis. That's a good thing, man. That's self-love. That's the action of self-love. We can act our way into new thinking, but we can't think our way into new acting. So anyway, but that being said, like, fuck, man, like, if we're approaching a girl and we say like, hey, I want to ask you a question, and she takes a step back and she's like, oh, whoa. Wait a minute, whatever. She like all women, whenever you approach them, they're startled at first, but let's say it's a little bit much. She's, why the fuck are you talking to me? It's like, because I want to fucking ask you a question, right? Or if she's like, well, oh, okay, whoa. It's like, hey, relax. I'm a human being asking you a question, and I think I'm a good person, so I'm going to ask you this question, and it's all good, And there's a lot of that, I guess you could call it reframing, that needs to take place in all of your interactions. If somebody misinterprets you, you need to make it very clear about who you are and what you are. You need to choose the best way to do it. But if you're just going for what works at the expense of being yourself or carrying who they are, or the overall experience of being social or being sexual or whatever it is, man, you just move into this fucked up state. And that's one of the sad things that Pickup did, man. It sold to desperate men who wanted something and who were willing to do something of what worked because, hey, that makes sense in most of the other areas of our life, But, man, and it sold them what worked. And usually that didn't work, but sometimes it did. And when it did, it cut out all the great benefits of what you get of being a man, or, connecting with a woman, or being social, or all these other fucking awesome things. So learn to stand up for yourself. Learn to say who you are. Like, if you're not doing that, like, what are you doing? And I get it. If you don't have time to go and talk to people or whatever, you should do it on a daily basis. But if you run into a situation where you are, somebody's not paying attention to you in the right way, or somebody misinterprets you, it is your job to say, hey, don't see me like this. This is who I am. I'm just asking you a question, or I'm just putting myself in front of you. Like, take it or leave it, or whatever. I can go. Give them a choice. Intent, choice. That's all it is, over and over again. So, man, if this girl's giving you the runaround, just be like, man, what the fuck? Why are you giving me the runaround? I like you, but I don't like you enough to change myself to work around these fears that you have, which are so abstract and just wrong about what the situation is. So either we hang out or we don't. Like, let's do that, okay? Stop the drama. Anybody, man or woman, although this happens a lot with women in relationships. It happens with men down the road in relationships, but anyone, man or woman, when they're confused, it makes them feel good to be led in the right direction. Don't misrepresent yourself doing that, but lead them in the right fucking direction, man. Make people feel good. Make people be themselves. All right? And that's what we're looking for.